I want to take this opportunity to welcome all of you to CASH, which is an incredible opportunity where Morgan State University is being used as a site to enable individuals who really cannot afford to have their tax returns completed to do so free. We are very pleased that our students here at Morgan, our faculty here at Morgan, are helping in this process. We've been very impressed with what has happened with this program over the last 18 years and the economic impact it has had on the state of Maryland and the total number of families that have taken advantage of these services. Our understanding is that in 2018, every family in Maryland that is making $55,000 a year and below can actually have their tax returns filed free. And so this is quite a relief. Of course, I have to pay, and I'm not complaining about that, to get my own tax returns filed, but I went through a period as well where it was really quite onerous to come out of pocket with this fee. And so I do understand the benefit that this is bringing to all of our families across the state. And we here at Morgan are so delighted to be a host site. I certainly want to thank the Honorable Elijah Cummings and the Honorable John Sarbanes and others who are joining us today for their leadership in this effort. We follow that on a regular basis, and we know that you really do care about the working families here in Maryland and appreciate all the support that you provide for us here at Morgan State University. And so with that said, I'm very pleased to introduce Robin McKinney, who is co-founder and CEO of the CASH Campaign of Maryland. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Dr. Wilson. Being here at Morgan is to be in a school, to be in a setting like this where people are learning, where people are starting out in their careers or finding a different path in their career. This is the perfect place for us to be doing taxes and to be talking about financial capabilities. So thank you so much for everything that Morgan is doing. So I'm Robin McKinney. I'm the co-founder and CEO of the CASH Campaign of Maryland. And CASH stands for Creating Assets, Savings, and Hope. Good job. You guys already passed the first test. So thank you again to Morgan for hosting us. Thank you to our elected officials for your just tireless leadership. This is the road show every single year, and we appreciate you making time out of your schedule. Our staff and our board, if you could just give a quick wave, as well as our partners who are in the room too. Please give them a round of applause. They are awesome. These are folks that live on pizza and long hours. Basically, that's how we get it through. Maybe we need a pizza sponsorship idea. Okay. So we are just coming out of a record-breaking government shutdown, at least temporarily. And so thanks to the persistence of our leadership here in Maryland and from Maryland, on behalf of the many families that were impacted and the many federal programs, CASH included, that were having issues. Today, tax season officially opens. And so not to have our IRS officials with us, the IRS commissioner couldn't be with us today because of the shutdown. So we really appreciate everyone's persistence to get us to the current deal. In these tough times, I'm really encouraged to see how many people, individuals and communities were standing together. And as Anne Frank says, look how a single candle can both defy and define the darkness. And I think this is one of those times. We are thrilled to be here today to announce the tax season is open. Balloons, confetti. We're open for business, so please make an appointment. You can call this phone number, 410-234-2008, or visit us at our website, bemorefreetaxes.org, make an appointment. If you make less than $55,000, you could qualify for free tax preparation. We have sites across the state. We have 45 sites that are opening. We're really excited to have you. The lifeblood of our program are volunteers. There are 715 of them across the state that have passed an IRS test who are also living on pizza through volunteer training, learning about what happened as a result of tax reform, which got complicated. got complicated. And so we learned it so you don't have to. And so we are trained up, we've passed our exams, and we're ready to serve you. And so we couldn't be happier to be here today. Cash works on behalf of those who have had their income shut down too often, their opportunities shut down too often, and their hard-earned savings depleted too often. The last few weeks have really, illustrated the devastating effect of missing a paycheck. You know, when we think of federal workers, folks that, have a steady job, the impact for them of missing one paycheck and then another paycheck, I think really brought to the public the struggles that folks are having. Well, for us, these are the same struggles that our people have all the time. More than 20% of workers in Maryland, in our richest state, have income volatility, where they might know a change in a shift, a change with seasonal work is really going to impact their ability to make ends meet. And so I think the compassion and the charity and the flexibility that we've seen folks provide for government workers, which is important, let's extend that to the folks, our neighbors, that are having these same challenges each and every day. We work with tens of thousands of low-income folks each year. Last year, we served 23,000 people through free tax preparation, bringing back $35 million in refunds. That's economic power coming back into our communities. This isn't going to the Cayman Islands. This is going into our neighborhoods. This is transportation. This is childcare. This is housing coming back into our communities. Those 715 volunteers provided over 40,000 hours of volunteer time. Again, the lifeblood of this program. Our partners are in 19 counties. They also helped an additional 8,000 folks to get financial education, financial coaching, tax time being this moment to save, to pay down debt, to start planning for a brighter future. And that's for us at Cash. It starts with the tax return, but we hope that relationship extends throughout the year. So though we live in one of the richest states, about 10% of Marylanders are in income poverty, and 20% are in asset poverty. That means that they can't weather a financial storm. These numbers double for people of color. In Baltimore City, that means Black and Latinx households. This is unacceptable. We as a state need to step up and work together and find ways to to close the racial wealth gap, to be intentional about it, and to find ways to make our tax code and our programming more equitable. We need to be bold. Last year, we were able to expand the earned income tax credit. Last year, I was talking about this opportunity where folks who were 18 to 25 were just left out of the earned income tax credit if they didn't have kids. It was a small amount of money, but they were left out simply because of their age. These are foster youth transitioning out, young veterans, young folks trying to get a foothold in their career and simply weren't old enough. Well, I'm here back this year to say for those 40,000 workers, we were able to expand the earned income tax credit for those who are under the age of 25. You should clap now. It was quite a feat because these bills aren't cheap. And so to get that protection for those 40,000 workers is really important, but we have more work to do. This year we're back. We're trying to expand it to make it more valuable. Right now the average benefit is about $71. How long is that going to last to keep you out of poverty? 10 minutes? Half an hour? Maybe an hour? So we can do better to make that amount more valuable. And we also want to raise the income eligibility. Right now for these single workers, the top end is about $15,000. So even less than minimum wage. You're working full-time minimum wage, you don't qualify for the earned income tax credit. So we have some work to do. So to do all this work, to do taxes, to do policy work, we need you. We need you today. We need you the next couple weeks. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family members. Make calls, send the flyers out, call your elected officials so that we can get free tax preparation and financial education and financial capability services into every part of the state. So in the words of Brad Henry, who's the former governor of Alabama, let us be bold, let us be brave, and let us be together. Thank you. So the first person I want to bring up is a volunteer. The highlight always of the press conference, you guys are like, go ahead, Robin, get out of the way. We just want to hear what the volunteer is going to say. So I'm really excited to bring up Angel Lyles, who is a former student and volunteer here at Morgan.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Angel Lyles. I recently graduated from Morgan last May 2018 with my bachelor's in accounting, and I volunteered for the VITA program because I wanted to help. I like to help, and also it was part of my credit hours towards graduation. But I decided to return this year because I was asked by a few of the customers that I helped last year to come back and help them do their tax preparation. I also, and to know that people trusted me enough to call me to ask me to do their taxes again was also a big plus for me. I was able to help a few classmates and a few co-workers. One of my customers that I helped, I was able to help her save. She ended up owing, but she didn't know that she could claim her disabled son, and it brought her tax bill down. And I was also able to, convince one of my classmates, Zena. She's a grad student, and I convinced her to come and volunteer this year, which she's also volunteering too. I think this program is very helpful for the community, and I thank them for having the program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angel. And you know what I love about what Angel had to say about trust, right? Because doing your taxes is stressful in any year. And in a year like this where we have tax reform, where people are desperate to get their refund and they don't know when they're going to get it, they need to go somewhere where they are not going to get ripped off. And so we know from one year to the next, when people say, you did my taxes, I trust you, that's what we work for each and every year. So thank you so much, Angel, and for everyone else that I know that you're going to convince to be a tax volunteer. Thank you so much. Next, I'm excited to introduce Congressman Cummings, who is our go-to champion on EITC, and we are so blessed to have him here with us today. So thank you, Congressman.
Thank you, Robin, and good morning to everyone. I first want to thank the president of Morgan, Dr. Wilson, for being with us today. He has an extremely busy schedule. I sit on the board. I've been on the board, I guess, for 13 years now. It's been a good while. But I want to compliment him publicly for the phenomenal job that he has done here at Morgan. As I was riding up the street, I was saying to Harry Spikes, one of my aides, by the way, a graduate of Morgan. By the way, we have a number of graduates of Morgan on Capitol Hill, and in my office. But telling Harry, I said, Harry, without strong leadership and a sensitive legislature, you would not see any of this. And so thank you not only for building up Morgan from a structural standpoint, but providing us the gifts of people like Angel. I don't know if you listened to her very carefully, but what she said in her very calm voice, I was saying to myself, if she was speaking that calmly to me and told me I owed $1,000, I'd be all right. But she said a lot in her speech. In other words, what she talked about was giving hope to people. And that's one of the things I love about this cash campaign, Robin, hope. There's so many people that have lost hope, so many. And this shutdown didn't help. It was a shutdown that was manufactured, and it was a shutdown that was based on pure politics. And so it is people like the volunteers, the 715 volunteers in the cash campaign, people like Robin and so many others, and our sponsors, and all of the people who own the locations that we'll be at, the 16 locations that we'll have centers at. It is all of them that make it possible for people to have hope. It's people like Angel Lyles, who came as a student and began to give the best she had. But not only that was she giving, but she was receiving. She was receiving the joy of knowing that she was helping somebody. And that's why Congressman Sarbanes and I work so hard on trying to make sure that we come here every year. I think last time I was in the hospital, but I'm back now. And thank you. But we are determined. See, we get it. We get it, and our delegation gets it, except one. Our delegation gets it. Anytime you're going to have anybody, a president of the United States, to stand up and say the people who are suffering during the shutdown should go to their local grocer and make a deal. Hello? Tell me what grocer that is. I don't know him. Or tell people to have a yard sale like the one of my neighbors told me, I don't have a yard and I don't have anything to sell. My point is that there are certain people that don't get it. And that's why we have to have the type of volunteers that we have, so that when people are sitting across the table from them, they feel that they can relate and understand them, but will have the patience with them, and they don't have to feel ashamed. A lot of what people fail to do is because they feel ashamed. And so we must, again, have things like the Cash Campaign to provide the services that they provide. I've often said that there's nothing like an opportunity that you don't know you have. Tweet that. There's nothing like an opportunity that you have that you don't know you have. And that's why we need to spread the word about this free tax preparation. We need to spread the word about all the earned income tax credit money that has been left on the table that should not be left on the table, and that the Cash Campaign is helping people to get. The other thing that we have to thank, again, we have to go back to the volunteers. John Sarbanes will tell you that we railed against this new tax law because there are a lot of issues with it, and we believe that the vast majority of the money is going to the upper 1%, while the rest of America gets very, very little. And in some instances goes backwards. But think about what was said by Robin. She said the tax laws have changed. What does that mean? That means that they have to train those volunteers again. They had to train them to deal with the new law. The new law. Even people who are accountants, ones that I know well, have told me they basically almost had to go back to school just to figure out how to make sure that they were doing the right thing by their clients. And so here we have an opportunity for people to get their taxes done for free. Last but not least, when I met with the president about now 2 years ago, I said something to him that I will write in my book when I finally get it done. I said, Mr. President, so many people in my neighborhood, they're not trying to get to Disney World. They're just trying to get to the local park. They're not trying to eat filet mignon. They just want a tuna fish sandwich. I said, they're not trying to live in the high penthouses somewhere. They simply want to be able to live in a place with a bathroom and it's warm in the wintertime, and a place where they can have their children able to flourish and do their homework. That's all they want. And I said to him, I said, look, I said, they do not want government to hurt them. They want government to help them. And that's why I appreciate the Cash Campaign. Because basically what they've come back by, and they gotta kind of clean up after a lot of mess and try to help people get through the clouds that they see when they have lost hope. And so this is about the business of restoring hope. making people feel better about their situations, putting money in their pockets so that they can do for their families. And when I think about it, it's bigger than that. If it were limited to that, that's one thing, but it's bigger than that. Robin, let me be clear. One of the most important things that we are doing here, and Sarah, one of the most important things we're doing, and I forgot you, Sarah, but Sarah Johnson has been all up in this. Give her a hand, too. Give her a hand. One of the most important things that we are doing, Robin, listen up now. It's not about us. It's really not. It's not just about the person that Angel talked about. It's about their children. And it's about their children's children. And it's about generations yet unborn. And so I'm excited. I'm going to do every single thing in my power to make it known about this program. And now it gives me great pleasure to, if you don't mind, Robin, to introduce my colleague, since I know him so well. John Sarbanes and I represent not only Baltimore City. See, people just think we represent the city. We also represent Baltimore County, and we also represent Howard County together. And I just want you to know that I could have no better partner in the Congress of the United States of America than a man who, I mean, he gets it. And the thing I love about John is he constantly synchronizes his conduct with his conscience. He doesn't say one thing and then do something else. He's consistent, and he makes sure that he reaches for the highest goals. As a matter of fact, one of the first bill filed in the Congress this year is one that was written by John Sarbanes, and one that bill will hopefully clean up some of the corruption, make voting rights, strengthen voting rights, so that everybody has a right to vote and every vote is counted. And I can consider him a true friend. Ladies and gentlemen, Congressman John Sarbanes.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. First, let me thank President Wilson. First of all, congratulations on this amazing resource. Thanks for your perseverance. I've had the opportunity to work with President Wilson on the Morgan Community Mile initiatives in terms of putting solar panels on low-income homes and bringing people into the renewable energy space, creating that pipeline, the workforce, to make sure that people can lift themselves up. So I know that Morgan is reaching out through the Community Mile initiative to embrace the surrounding area, and we salute you for that. Thank you for your great work and your leadership here. To my colleague, Elijah Cummings, I mean, this man's amazing. He talked about government can either hurt people or it can help people. And what you know is that when Elijah Cummings is in a position of authority and leadership, as he is now, as the new chairman of the Oversight and Reform Committee, that government will be helping people because he has committed his entire life to that. And it's been a privilege for me to serve and really to learn at his knee, because he is an amazing mentor, not just in Washington, but here in the district, in Baltimore, in Maryland. And we love coming to this event. When we see it, I'm sure Elijah would say this, sometimes you see things on your schedule and you're like, oh, okay, I guess I got to go do that. When we see this one, we get excited about it, and we need to be here. And that's why we're here every year. I want to thank Robin, I want to thank Sarah, I want to thank the entire CASH campaign for what you do, the volunteers, 715 volunteers that you mentioned. What an amazing commitment. And as Congressman Cummings said, that's not easy work. The people who step up, like Angel, to do this know that they carry a sober responsibility. It means everything to people that this be done properly. And we know there's a lot of tax preparers out there that are unscrupulous. And you can have the assets and you can have the savings, but you don't get to the hope part if somebody comes along and takes a big chunk out of that refund, or worse, is doing something they shouldn't be doing with it. So the free tax preparation is what creates that straight line between the assets, the savings, and the hope. And that wouldn't happen without this program, which, by the way, is a national model. I mean, when you talk to people about how this is done, they point to the cash campaign here in Maryland, because this is done at the highest level. This is a model of excellence. To have grown from 3 sites initially, I think you told me, to now 45 sites across the state of Maryland. The statistics are amazing. 23,000 tax returns filed on behalf of people last year, $34 million in refunds, taking full advantage for folks of the EITC, the Earned Income Tax Credit. So this is a very valuable service, and I want to salute you for it. The hope part is the most important, and this is what Congressman Cummings was saying. He always speaks to the hope part of it, because he knows that so many people, when they get behind the 8 ball, that's what they lose. They lose their hope, not just for themselves, as he said, but really, you know, every parent's hope is dependent on whether they think there will be opportunity for their children or their grandchildren. That's the lens through which you judge whether you're making it in the world, whether you can provide opportunity for that next generation. And this program allows so many families to do that. I love this banner, by the way, because the earth, the ground there, the terra firma, that's the assets. The coins are the savings. And that green shoot with the leaves coming out of it, that new bud, that's the hope right there. That's the hope. That tells the whole story in one picture. So take advantage of this program, please. This says it all. Free tax preparation. Earn it, keep it, save it. Thank you to the Cash Campaign for the great work that you do. Can I introduce the next person? Okay, since we're getting into that mode. So it's a real pleasure to introduce Bruce Williams, who's the mayor's chief of staff, the new chief of staff for Mayor Pugh, and I do want to salute the mayor for her commitment to this program. We couldn't do it without the partnership from Baltimore City. I've had the privilege of knowing Bruce for many, many years. Almost 30 years ago, we partnered around Dunbar High School, trying to pull the community together and build a collaborative to support education over there. We worked with people like Irona Pope and so forth, and Hattie Harrison and the whole team. In fact, you remember Irona Pope said to me once, she said, we were at a meeting, she says, I want you to know we have meetings before the meetings and we have meetings after the meetings. So watch out. Anyway, so to have Bruce, and he was at IBM, he's an outstanding choice for this new position. To have him be part of this effort and here today and part of the partnership is a real pleasure. Bruce Williams.
Well, good morning. Thank you all. And John, thank you for the kind words. It's interesting following 2 of my friends. Elijah and I went to Dr. Wilson. We both went to Howard undergraduate, so we know each other. And then partnering with John. So I'm here on behalf of Mayor Pugh, and I'm honored to join the Cash Campaign and this morning celebrate the annual tax break. The tax season is a very important part of what we do. People getting their refunds. And so it's a great resource for our citizens, local businesses, and the entire Baltimore community. The city's Community Action Partnership has been in place over 16 years with all the many volunteers, as we talked about. and that Mayor Pugh is really happy to have this relationship and to watch the many people on the staff help thousands of city residents with their taxes, applying for tax benefit credits, and also being self-sufficient. And we hope that everybody, when they get their returns, will save them. And we appreciate your teaching and supporting financial literacy. And that's really important. It's not only to get the return, but also to save it. And you know, we have all these supposedly tax providers offering to give people money with high interest rates before they get their returns. And so your work absolutely takes that off the table, and we really appreciate you for that. We also believe that saving the money helps our citizens avoid these crises by saving their funds, so that they will have something to sustain themselves. And we talked about, it's like some people are one paycheck away from financial disaster, and we think being able to afford people tax credits and also, showing them how to save their funds is really important. So we thank you for that. Also, the fact of teaching entrepreneurs how to maintain their records properly and also file correctly, because that avoids a lot of expense when you don't do that. So we appreciate you for that. So what I'd like to do is present the citation to you, Robin. So on behalf of the citizens of Baltimore, I am pleased to salute the Cash Campaign of Maryland and your contribution of tax preparation kickoff event. Keep your money. Each year, the Cash Campaign prepares and files over 100,000 tax returns, free of charge, resulting in over $200 million in income tax returns to their families and individuals in Baltimore. Throughout the past 18 years, the Cash Campaign has impacted the lives of thousands of people who have received free tax preparation services, saving them an estimated $17 million in preparation fees. On behalf of the citizens of Baltimore, we thank you for your efforts, and please keep up the good work. Thank you very much.
You guys just cut me out. You're just we'll just keep rolling. I'm fine with that. I did want to say that Council President Jack Young last minute was not able to attend, and the comptroller has his inauguration right now, so he couldn't be here. So hopefully what you've heard from everyone is that we are open, we are free, we are ready, we are trained. So tell your friends, tell your boo, get your taxes done for free. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to all of our partners, our staff, and happy tax season.